get laughed in again.
When you have a moment, could I get your name and email? My dad wants to
really?
send you. I can.
Oh, thank you. I'll hold on for a picture.
Okay. Oh, okay. I can do that.
May I have your attention, please? Thank you, banquet will begin shortly. Please make your way into the hall and take your seats. Thank you. The banquet will be held in English with Korean subtitles displayed on the screen. Before we begin, I'd like to ask all the guests to please put your cell phone on silent mode. Thank you for your kind cooperation. 네, 오늘 행사는 효율적인 진행을 위해 영어로 진행되는 점 양해 부탁드립니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 여기는 지금 엠버서더 호텔에서 오늘 이런 6.25 전쟁 유엔참전용사 감사만찬 행사를 준비하게 되었는데 주최는 주관이 국가보훈처랑 지금 미국 대사관에서 같이 하는 거예요.
That puts me around 60 somewhere.
네, 육사 생도분들께서 지금 테이블마다 이렇게 계시네요. 아까 그 참전용사 한 분이랑 사진을 찍었는데 그분 따님께서 저한테 이메일 주소를 물어보셔가지고 방금 알려드렸어요. 아마 사진 주시려는 모양이에요.
May I have your attention, please? Thank you, banquet will begin shortly. Please make your way into the hall and take your seat. Thank you. The banquet will be held in English with Korean subtitles displayed on the screen. Before we begin, I'd like to ask all the guests to please put your cell phone on silent mode. Thank you for your kind cooperation. 오늘 행사는 효율적인 진행을 위해 영어로 진행되는 점 양해 부탁드립니다. Good evening, distinguished guests, excellencies, and ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to Thank You Banquet hosted by the Ministry of Patriots and Veterans Affairs. Thank you for joining us in this special occasion. I'm Amy Jo, and I'm deeply honored to be here as the MC for this meaningful and wonderful event. Please allow me to greet you in a traditional Korean way. Thank you very much. For your information, the order of the program is on the screen and also in the leaflets on your table. Now, let us begin the Thank You Banquet. First, a tribute video for the veterans will play on the screen. Let's take a look.
To my dearest friend, "70 years ago, you came to an unknown land to preserve freedom and peace. We still remember your gallantry and sacrifice. We always remember you. The unexpected war put everything into chaos, and we had to put our lives on the line to protect the future of our nation. Then you gave a warm helping hand to us in times of hardship and despair. It's still vivid in my memory that you came to help us in the name of friendship. When our country's peace was at stake, you came running into danger that might separate you from your loved ones for good. In a country you never heard of, despite challenging weather and fear of war, you devoted yourself to defend our freedom and the Republic of Korea. What we wanted to defend was the Republic of Korea. Do you remember the time we spent together? Even though we didn't speak the same language, we were all of one mind. We fought days and nights in severe cold, enduring injuries. We shed tears for the death of our innocent fellow soldiers. Your valor and sacrifice served as a foundation for us to regain hope. We could regain our hope. In the poorest country, that was expected to take more than 100 years to rise from the ashes of war, we exerted every effort to recover from the war. With the sweat we shed, we began to make a history of miracles amid the ruins of war. 70 years after the war, today, Korea has emerged as the 10th largest economic power in the world and become the chair of the G20, as well as a proud member of the United Nations. Now Korea is leaping towards a better future. Korea became the first country that transformed itself from an aid recipient to a donor and is reaching out to those in need across the globe. years ago. We will always remember your noble sacrifice and warm heart that offered help in the name of friendship. My dearest friend, you will always be our hero. You will always be our hero.
Sacrifices and dedication of the Korean War veterans will never be in vain, and we, the Korean people, will remember you forever. With that, we will have a moment of silence for those who gave their lives to defend the Republic of Korea. I'd like to ask all of you to rise for a moment of silence. Silent tribute. As you are. Thank you. Please be seated. And now, I'd like to introduce our distinguished guest today. When your name is called, please rise to be recognized. Ladies and gentlemen, as they stand, please give them a warm round of applause. First, most importantly, 77 Korean war heroes and their family members have joined us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, and please, 77 Korean war veterans and family members, please to rise to be recognized. Thank you very much. Thank you for your cooperation. Next, Vice Admiral Stuart Campbell Mayer, Deputy Commander of the United Nations Command. Mr. Mehmet Orhun Çelik Hope, Counselor and Deputy Chief of Mission, Turkish Embassy. Vice Chairman Song Jin-won, the Korean War Veterans Association. Chairman Ji Gap-jong, UN Korean War Allies Association. Chairman Kim Song-chul, People to People International. Chairman Lee Kyung-jae, Kumashi Headquarters. Chairman Shim Ho-myung, Kamje Friend of Korean War Veterans. President Hwang Jin-ha, Korea-America Friendship Society. Dr. Cho Sung-hoon, Director of Institute for Military History of Ministry of National Defense. And training cadets of Korea Military Academy are here with us today. Please welcome them with a big hand. And we have delegates from the US and Turkish embassies to Korea, Joint US Military Affairs Group Korea, and Joint Forces Military University, and many distinguished guests to whom I also extend my warm welcome. And finally, let me introduce the host, Minister of Patriots and Veterans Affairs, Park Sang-duk. Now, I'd like to invite the Honorable Park Sang-duk to the podium to deliver a welcome speech. Please welcome him with a big hand.
존경하는 미국 특히 참전 용사와 가족들, 대한민국을 지키기 위해 목숨을 걸고 싸우셨던 참전 용사 여러분과 가족분들을 만나 뵙게 되어 정말 기쁘게 생각합니다. 머나먼 한국까지 이렇게 찾아주셔서 진심으로 감사드립니다.
Honorable Korean War veterans and family members from the United States of America and the Republic of Turkey, it is my great pleasure to meet all of you who put lives on the line to protect the Republic of Korea and your family members. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to you for traveling from afar.
오늘 참전 용사와 가족분들을 환영하기 위해 자리에 함께 주신 스튜어트 캠벨 메이어 유엔군 부사령관님, 외매로 오른 첼리콜 주한특히 부대사님, 6.25 참전 유공자 송기현 부회장님, 품앗이운동본부 이경재 이사장님, 담제보훈기념사업회 심호명 회장님, 국제 피플 투 피플 김성철 총재님, 국방부 군사편찬연구소 조성훈 소장님과 한미친선 단체장님들을 비롯한 내외 기관 여러분께도 감사의 말씀을 드립니다.
In addition, I would like to thank Vice Admiral Stuart Mayer, Deputy Commander of the United Nations Command, Deputy Head of Mission, Ömer Orhan Çelikol of the Embassy of the Republic of Turkey, Vice President Song Jin-won of Korean War Veterans Association, Chairman Lee Kyung-jae of Pumashi Headquarters, Chairman Shim Ho-myung of Kamje Friends of Korean War Veterans, Chairman Kim Song-chul of People to People International, Director Cho Sung-hoon of Institute for Military History of the Ministry of National Defense, Chairman of Korea-U.S. Friendship Organizations, and other distinguished guests for joining us today to welcome our veterans and family members.
저는 지난 8월 대한민국 국가보훈처장으로 취임했습니다. 그리고 그전에는 여러분께서 3일 전에 다녀오셨던 전쟁기념관 관장으로 근무했습니다.
Before I took office as the Minister of Patriots and Veterans Affairs in August this year, I had held the position of President of the War Memorial of Korea, which you visited 3 days ago.
관장으로 일하던 당시에 참전용사들께서 전쟁기념관에 오시는 날은 저에게는 아주 특별한 날이었습니다. 하얀 국화꽃을 들고 전사장님께서 정의의 이름을 애타게 찾으시는 모습, 그 정의의 이름 앞에서 눈물을 흘리시는 모습, 그리고 참전 당시를 회상하시면서 전시품 하나하나를 살펴보시는 모습이 아직도 생생하게 떠오릅니다.
The day Korean War veterans came and visited the War Memorial of Korea was a very special day for me while I was there. Veterans who anxiously looked for the names of their fallen comrades on the wall of remembrance with white flowers in their hands. Veterans who shed tears after finally finding the names they were so desperately looking for. Veterans who looked through the exhibited articles one by one, recalling their younger selves during the Korean War, are still very vivid in my memory.
국가보훈처장으로서는 오늘이 처음이지만 유엔참전용사 여러분을 뵙는 것은 매우 뜻깊고 영광스러운 일입니다.
This is my first time attending the Revisit Korea program as the Minister of Patriots and Veterans Affairs, and it is my privilege and honor to meet the UN Korean War veterans.
존경하는 참전용사와 가족 여러분, 미국과 터키는 대한민국과 혈맹의 관계를 맺고 그 소중한 인연을 이어온 나라들입니다.
Honorable Korean War veterans and family members, the alliance between the United States, Turkey, and Korea is one that is forged in blood, and our ties remain very strong today.
한국 전쟁이 일어나자 미국은 가장 먼저 가장 많은 용사들을 파병했으며 안타깝게도 가장 많은 분들이 희생되셨습니다. 또한 지금 이 자리는 1950년 9월 유엔군에게 승리를 안겨주면서 전쟁의 판도를 바꾸었던 인천 상륙작전에 참여하셨던 분들도 함께하고 계십니다.
The United States was the first country that extended a warm helping hand when the Korean War broke out, dispatching the largest number of troops among the UN sending states. Unfortunately, it was also the nation that suffered the heaviest casualties. Tonight, we are joined by the U.S. veterans who participated in the Incheon landing operation that changed the course of the war and led to the UN forces' victory in September 1950.
터키는 22개 참전 중 4번째로 많은 젊은 용사들이 대한민국을 위해 투혼을 발휘했습니다. 특히 터키군은 당시 주둔지였던 수원에서 앙카라 고아를 운영하며 전쟁 고아들을 보살펴도 주셨습니다.
Young soldiers from Turkey, the nation that sent the 4th largest number of troops to Korea, displayed valor and gallantry to protect a nation that was engulfed in war. In particular, the Turkish soldiers established the Ankara School in Suwon, a city where their camp was located, and looked after the war orphans.
이처럼 미국과 터키는 대한민국이 가장 어려웠던 시절 곁을 지켜준 소중한 친구이자 앞으로도 영원히 함께할 동반자입니다.
As such, the United States and Turkey stood shoulder to shoulder with Korea when our nation was in great danger, and they will forever remain as our allies.
대한민국은 여러분께서 지켜주신 자유와 평화를 토대로 전쟁의 폐허를 딛고 오늘의 눈부신 경제 성장과 민주화를 이루어냈습니다.
Thanks to the freedom and peace that you preserved, Korea was able to achieve remarkable economic growth and democratization after rising from the ashes of war.
우리 정부와 국민들은 위기의 대한민국을 위해 여러분께서 보여주신 용기와 투혼을 결코 잊지 않겠습니다. 지금까지 그랬듯이 앞으로의 대한민국 역사에서도 영원히 기억될 것입니다.
The government and people of Korea will never forget the courage and fighting spirit of the UN Korean War veterans who fought to defend the war-torn nation. Your sacrifice and contribution have remained and will continue to remain engraved in the history of Korea.
내년은 6.25 전쟁이 발발한 지 70주년이 되는 해입니다. 여러분을 비롯한 모든 유엔 참전용사와 가족분들께 대한민국의 마음을 전할 수 있도록 정성을 다해 준비하겠습니다.
The coming year marks the 70th anniversary of the outbreak of the Korean War. We will make wholehearted efforts to deliver our appreciation to each and every one of the UN Korean War veterans and family members.
다시 한번 참전용사와 가족분들께 진심으로 감사드리며 비록 짧은 기간이지만 이번 방문이 여러분께 소중한 추억으로 간직되시길 희망합니다. 편안하고 즐거운 저녁 시간 되시기 바랍니다. 감사합니다.
I would like to express my deepest gratitude once again to the UN Korean War veterans and family members. And I hope the memories of your short visit to Korea are long cherished in your hearts. Please enjoy the evening. Thank you.
감사합니다.
Thank you, Minister, for your warm remarks. At this time, Mr. Walter Kujawa will deliver his remarks as a representative of Korean war veterans. Please join me in welcoming him with a warm round of applause.
Good evening. First thing I would like to do before anything else is to thank Mr. Park and the staff of the Ministry of Patriots and Veterans Affairs for making this trip possible for myself, my fellow brothers in arms, and our family and friends. Tonight consummates a journey that started for me in the latter part of 1952. In the beginning of the year, I arrived in Korea as a private in the U.S. Army 3rd Infantry Division, Easy Company. Upon arrival, I found a country ravaged by war. In the 16 months that I served on this peninsula, I experienced the hardships of battle, friendships of made, and comrades lost. There were many nights that I wondered why I survived, and others had, feeling both thankful and remorseful. After I returned to the USA as decades flew by, I often wondered what had become of the country and the people of the Republic of Korea. My question has been answered in a few days that I've been here. When I arrived at Incheon, the airport, I immediately noticed the landscape filled with high-rise buildings and a state-of-the-art international airport. I found further evidence of a country that had not only rebuilt, but had become a beacon of prosperity and success, exhibiting in the magnitude of the structures that have been constructed since the war's end, and also in the citizens and peoples I have encountered. Never have I been treated with such respect, admiration that I have experienced in the past few days. I have been repeatedly stopped by citizens and thanked for my service for all those years ago. The gratitude shown for my fellow servicemen and I have humbled me and made me understand that I was part of something bigger than myself. In closing, I would like to leave you with a quote from my friends here in the Republic of Korea. Don't walk behind me, I may not lead. Don't walk in front of me, I may not follow. Just walk beside me and be my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kujawa, for for sharing your stories. I'm happy to hear that you have found that your dedication have not in vain during this trip. And we will now present the Ambassador for Peace medals to the Korean War heroes here with us today. But before the presentation, let me introduce every our heroes through a short video clip. Let's take a look. To all Korean War veterans who for their sacrifice and service for our country. Ladies and gentlemen, to our heroes, please give them another big round of applause. Now we will proceed with presentation of the Ambassador for Peace medals to our heroes. Representatives of recipients, as your name is called, please come up to the stage. 그리고 박상득 처장님께서는 무대 위로 올라와 주시기 바랍니다. Mr. Charles Anderson, Mr. Robert Chase Sr., Mr. Raymond Chrisman, Mr. Richard Ferry, Mr. William Gilbert, Mr. George Taylor, Mr. Clifford Strong, Mr. Joseph Kalla. Mr. Charles Anderson. Ambassador for Peace. It is a great honor and pleasure to express the everlasting gratitude of the Republic of Korea and our people for the service you and your countrymen have performed in restoring and preserving our freedom and democracy. We cherish in our hearts the memory of your boundless sacrifices in helping us re-establish our free nation. In grateful recognition of your dedicated contributions, it is our privilege to to proclaim you an ambassador for peace with every good wish of people of the Republic of Korea. Let each of us reaffirm our mutual respect and friendship that they may endure for generations to come. Minister Park Sam-duk. Mr. Robert Chase Sr. Citation is the same. Mr. Charlie Stockall is awarded on behalf of Mr. Raymond Chrisman. Citation is the same. Mr. Richard Ferry. Citation is the same. Mr. Randy Gilbert is awarded on behalf of Mr. William Gilbert. Citation is the same. Mr. George Wheeler. Citation is the same. Mr. Clifford John. Citation is the same. Mr. Joseph Allah. Citation is the same. Now we'll take a good photo. Please give them another big round of applause. Thank you very much. 네, 처장님께서는 다음 수여를 위해 무대에 잠시 대기 부탁드립니다. And let me proceed with the presentation. Recipients, as your name is called, please come up to the stage. Mr. Burrell McConnell, Mr. Richard Caffey, Mr. James Richmond, Mr. John Gomez, Mr. James Sharp, Mr. Frank Sivak Jr., Mr. Wayne Strunk, Mr. Milton Walker. Mr. Moral McConnell. Citation is the same. Mr. Gregory Papin is awarded on behalf of Mr. Richard Papin. Citation is the same. Mr. James Rich Lin. Citation is the same. Mr. John Romius Jr. Citation is the same. Mr. James Sharp. Citation is the same. Mr. Frank Siva. Citation is the same. Mr. Wayne Strong. Citation is the same. Mr. Milton Walker. Citation is the same. Please give them another big round of applause to honor them. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, recipients. Please return to your table. And next, officers from Joint Forces Military University to read letters to the Korean War veterans with a deep sense of gratitude. Let me first invite Major Nagel Robert from the U.S. Marines to the podium. Please give him a big round of applause.
Good evening. My name is Major Brendan Nagel, and I'm a United States Marine Corps major currently studying at the Joint Forces Military University in Daejeon, South Korea, about 2.5 hours south of here. I'd like to take a moment to thank the veterans here tonight who so courageously sacrificed for the cause of freedom here on the Korean Peninsula. I would like to share just one short story about my link to veterans of the Korean War and why the inspiration these veterans has had in Washington, D.C. While I was there, I met 2 Marine Corps veterans of the Korean War. These gentlemen had landed at Incheon, fought to liberate Seoul, and then fought in one of our nation's coldest and fiercest battles at Changjin Lake, known in the United States as the Chosin Reservoir. These 2 warriors shared stories of sacrifice, friendship, camaraderie, and a brotherhood the likes of which you usually only see in movies. They had left their home for the first time to fight in a land they had barely heard of, but persisted in the face of a disappointed and ferocious enemy because they did not want to let their country down. They did not want to let their leaders down. Most importantly, they did not want to let their fellow Marines down. Their story moved me such that I decided upon graduation I would seek a commission in the United States Marine Corps. To this day, when I'm faced with challenges or hardships, I often think back to the courage those two warriors exhibited in the face of an unrelenting enemy and pervasive cold weather. There's a source of resolve for me to know that those who went before me had faced much worse. And when faced with adversity, they not only survived, but they thrived and they succeeded. The power of the example of our veterans to our current warfighting capability cannot be overstated. So I would like to personally thank those here for their courageous service to our country, and also for participating in events such as this one. Events that help connect the examples of our past to our warfighting capability now and in the future. Thank you, and have a good evening.
For sharing your story and deliver our appreciation on behalf of all here. And I'd like to also invite Lieutenant Commander Selçuk Kürkan from Turkish Navy to the podium. Please welcome him with a big hand.
Ayaşnika, good evening, iyi akşamlar. Ben Türk Deniz Kuvvetleri'nden binbaşı Selçuk Kürkan. Kore Deniz Akademisi'nde devam eden askeri eğitimim nedeniyle yaklaşık 2 yıldır Kore'de bulunuyorum. Öncelikle bu anlamlı etkinliği organize ettiği, bizleri de davet ederek değerli gazilerimize şahsen teşekkür etme fırsatı sunduğu için Gazi İşlemleri Bakanlığı yetkililerine teşekkür ediyorum. Üzerimde gururla taşıdığım bu güzel üniformayı giyeli tam 27 yıl oldu. Bu süre zarfında çeşitli sebeplerle birçok defa bu tarz konuşmalar yaptım. Ama hiçbirinde bu akşamki kadar heyecanlandığımı hatırlamıyorum. Çünkü sizler gibi vatanlarından binlerce kilometre uzakta, Yongin'de, Kunuri'de, Kore Yarımadası'nın birçok yerinde çok zor şartlar altında savaşarak inanılmaz fedakarlıklarda ve büyük kahramanlıklarda bulunmuş gazilerimize teşekkür etmek için buradayım. Sizler bu güzel ülkenin, güzel insanlarının özgürlüklerini kazanmalarına yardımcı olmak için savaşırken bizler henüz hayatta bile değildik. Ama siz gazilerimizin yaklaşık 70 yıl önce bu topraklarda gösterdiğiniz kahramanlıklar sayesinde bizler bugün bu güzel, gelişmiş ve en önemlisi özgür ülkede bize devrettiğiniz görevi en iyi şekilde yerine getirebilmek için kendimizi eğitme fırsatı bulabiliyoruz. Umarım bizler de yıllar sonra üniformalarımızı çıkardığımızda sizler gibi gururla çocuklarımızın gözlerine bakabiliriz. Özgürlük asla bedava değildir. Olmamıştır ve olmayacaktır. Ve sizler bu bedeli fazlasıyla ödediniz. Yaptığınız fedakarlıklar asla unutulmayacaktır. Teşekkür ederiz. Thank you. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Mr. Selçuk. Korean veteran soldiers, thank you very much for fighting for the Republic of Korea. And now, to commemorate this occasion, we will have a toast. Distinguished guests, please fill your glasses. And let me invite Vice Admiral Stuart Campbell Mayer, Deputy Commander of the United Nations Command, to propose a toast. Please welcome him with a warm round of applause.
Thank you for having me this evening. General Abrams regrets that he's unable to attend, though I'm personally grateful for that, as I am honoured to be here with you in his stead. Can I pay my respects also to the very many VIPs here tonight, and for the opportunity also to greet the veterans that are with us.
오늘 이 자리에 초청해 주셔서 감사드립니다. 에이브람스 사령관님께서 구두기하게 참석하지 못하신 데 대해 아쉬움의 뜻을 전하셨습니다. 대신 제가 여러분들을 뵐 수 있게 돼서 개인적으로는 기쁘게 생각합니다. 이 자리를 빌어 저도 군인으로서 여기 계시는 참전용사분들 그리고 많은 이분들께 진심으로 감사의 그리고 존경의 말씀을 먼저 전하고 싶습니다.
MPBA, thank you for hosting us. In particular, thank you to Minister Park for your leadership and your commitment to honouring the service of UNC veterans. I have said before and repeat tonight, there is no organisation in the world better at remembering its veterans than is the NPBA.
오늘 이 자리를 마련해 주신 보훈처에 감사드립니다. 특히 유엔사 참전용사들의 헌신을 기릴 수 있도록 훌륭한 리더십과 의지를 보여주신 박상득 보훈처장님께 깊이 감사드립니다. 전에도 말씀드렸지만 이 자리를 빌어 다시 한번 말씀드리고 싶습니다. 한국의 국가보훈처는 전 세계 그 어떤 기관보다 더 훌륭히 참전용사들의 희생을 기리고 기억하고 있습니다.
Thank you to the veterans and the families joining us. Your heroism and sacrifice in Korea does not go unrecognised or forgotten. You are the heroes that stood up when times were hardest, and an example for all who wear a uniform here to emulate.
오늘 함께 해주신 참전용사분들과 그 가족분들께도 깊은 감사를 드립니다. 여러분의 영웅적인 헌신과 희생에 모두가 깊은 감사를 드리며 함께 기억하고 있습니다. 여러분들은 가장 힘든 시기에 결연히 일어선 영웅들이시며 군복을 입은 저희 모두의 귀감이십니다.
UNC is a long-standing friend of the Republic of Korea, the one that was willing to shed blood to defend its freedom. UNC represents international support for the security of the Republic of Korea, a commitment that is as real today as it was in 1950.
유엔사는 대한민국의 자유 수호를 위해 기꺼이 함께 피를 흘려 싸운 한국의 오랜 친구입니다. 유엔사는 대한민국 안보에 대한 국제사회의 지원을 대표하며 이 약속은 1950년뿐만 아니라 현재까지도 유효합니다.
Tonight we honour the sacrifices and dedication of those who answered the call for peace, freedom and democracy. Without you, the Republic of Korea would not be the vibrant modern country it is today.
오늘 밤 우리는 평화, 자유, 민주주의의 부름에 응답하신 분들의 희생과 헌신을 기리기 위해 이 자리에 모였습니다. 여러분들이 계시지 않았다면 눈부시게 발전한 오늘날의 대한민국은 아마 없었을 것입니다.
I'll shortly propose a toast and complete it with the words "Kapchi Kapchida." When I say those words, I invite you to respond with the same words in the choir.
일단 제가 건배사를 마무리하게 되면 아직 조금 드릴 말씀이 더 남긴 했지만 같이 갑시다라고 제가 구호를 외칠 겁니다. 그러면 여러분들께서도 같이 갑시다로 화답해 주시기를 부탁드리겠습니다.
I propose a toast to the veterans of the Korean War who ensured the freedom of a nation, to their families who also sacrificed and supported their warriors, and to those valiant few who gave their last full measure. You will never be forgotten.
한 국가의 자유를 수호하신 6.25 참전용사분들과 그분들을 지원하며 희생을 역시 감내하신 그 가족분들, 그리고 목숨까지 바쳐 희생하신 용맹하신 소수의 분들을 기억하며 건배를 지휘하겠습니다.
같이 갑시다.
여러분 방송 여기서 마치려고 합니다. 시청해주셔서 정말 감사합니다. 오늘 사실 그 해리스 대사님께서 참석하신다고 하셔가지고 제가 여러분들께 좀 같이 영상 찍어서 보여드릴 수 있도록 하려고 했는데 아쉽게도 직전에 캔슬되었습니다. 오늘 시청해주셔서 감사하고 좋아요 좀 꼭 눌러주세요. 그럼 좋은 하루 좋은 저녁 보내세요, 여러분. 감사합니다.